back to the 2022 IPF World Open Equipped Powerlifting Championships in Viborg, Denmark. Brought to you by none other than Alico and SBD. And right now we are getting ready for the 93 kilo B group. And I'm Gary Williams and I'll be taking you through this group today. And then of course later this evening at 7 p.m. we'll have the A group and the 63 kilo women. And these guys have got their work cut out for them today. It's been an exciting week here so far with records toppling. Earlier today we saw the 83s come down to the last deadlift to see who was going to take that one out as well, and it has been like that all week. We've got the running order in front of you right now for the 93 kilo first group. So Andreas will be opening with 270, Steve Doyle with 275, Ivanov 290, and bear in mind this is the first group. There's another group this afternoon as well, so even though the rankings will come up in the screen, they won't really become relevant until this evening when the second group run through as well. So these guys are going to be trying to get themselves into a position where they might just take themselves a medal later this evening. But right now, coming to the platform, Soto Rivera Andreas from Costa Rica, opening with 270 kilos. And of course, none of these competitions possible without the great support from Alico and SBD. Alico, the makers of the best platform equipment in the world, and SBD, of course, the makers of the best lifting support gear in the world. And here comes Andreas now. So Andreas, I can't recall seeing him on the world stage before. Just didn't really get into those knee wraps very well there and didn't get a lot of movement out. Let's have a look at the replay. Got good control and then just doesn't really sink in to get the most out of the equipment that he can. It's a real challenge getting down into depth in that equipment. If you've got everything set too tight, it's really hard to get down there and make use of it. So Steve Doyle from Canada, 275 kilos. And of course the first round of squats is probably the toughest. You've got to manage all the timing. You're still working out how fast the platform crew are moving, how fast people are doing their lifts. And let's see what the referees have to say. It's 2-1. We're a little bit high on one side there. Jordan Ivanov from Bulgaria now, looking for 290 kilos. Finished fourth at the European Powerlifting Championships in 2021. He's looking pretty strong today. Yeah, 2-1, gets that one on the board. We load the bar for 295 for Antonio Gorga from Italy. Competed in the European Men's Open in 2022, earlier this year. Ranked 6th.
Squatted 315 at that competition. Depth looks good from here. Let's see what the referees say. It looks like a good squat though. It is 3 white lights. You can see he really used that equipment, sunk into the bottom. Got the power out of the hole. So Takayuki Arakawa from Japan now, looking for 297.5. And certainly no stranger to the world stage. Competed back in 2010 in the World Open Championships. 2009, 2003. And a very solid squat. And rightly so, with all that experience. So 300 goes on the bar now for Matthew Hallett. Picked up a bronze medal this year at the Western European Men's Equip Championships. Probably didn't move as quickly as he would have liked it to, but that first squat on the board, just trying to dial in, get that equipment set right. Just waiting for the referee's decision there. And we do have 3 white lights.
We got there in the end. And the bar is loaded.
So Nikolai Olsen from Denmark now, 302.5, well above his listed PB. So he squatted 270 earlier this year at the European Men's. He has squatted higher than that before. And that is a massive lift. Unfortunately, just not getting deep enough. Just cut it shy there.
Bars loaded, 305 kilos, Colin Webb, Australia.
Colin Webb now, all the way from Australia. Looking for 305. Has squatted 340 in the past. Has been competing in the world stage for a little while now, 2013. Oh, he's just a little unsteady there. We'll have a look at the replay. It just looks like he lost the line of the bar. Yeah, he just shoots back a little bit there and just cannot recover. But you're in safe hands with that spotting crew. So Alex Combre Orison from Iceland. 320 kilos. And he has no problem with the weight. I think I'm going to wait for the referee's decision on this one. Yeah, 2 red lights, unfortunately. A lot of the guys struggling to hit depth at the moment. They can quite often be a result of just everything's a little bit too tight for that first lift. And there's plenty of adjustment you can do. Andrei Sip, Czechia, 320 kilograms. Still a junior, 4 years competing under his belt. And here he is on the world stage mixing it up in the opens. And made great use of the equipment. Lots of speed out of the bottom. He gets 2 white lights and puts him on the board.
2.5 on the bar now for Matthew Roller. US Virgin Islands, Duarte and Soto get ready. Bar is loaded. 322.5 kilos. Matthew Roller, US Virgin Islands.
So Matthew Roddick now, 322.5 kilos. We'll see some big numbers today in the 93s in both groups. Dropped in deep, he's having to grind this one out. I don't think depth will be a problem. It certainly isn't with 3 white lights. I think you'll want the next lift to be a little bit smoother than that one though. Gets in nice and deep there, maybe a little bit too deep. Hugo Duarte now. 330 kilograms on the bar. To give you an idea of just how powerful this weight class is, the world record is 400 kilograms. So competed this year at the European Opens. That suit is really tight, and you could see it really digging around his thighs, and that's really prevented him getting depth there. We see in the replay that leg on his suit is so tight. Might require a touch more weight to push through there. So after round 1, Roddick on 322.5, Sip on 320, and we still have a few guys yet to put a lift on the board. And this young man is one of them, Soto Rivera Andreas from Costa Rica, looking for 270. Just couldn't quite get a handle on it on his opener. He needs to sink into those knee wraps and explode out. And again, just not getting a lot of speed out of the bottom. You can see in the replay, he's got good control on the way down, but just doesn't really sink in to use those knee wraps and use that suit properly, so there's no speed coming out of the bottom. Steve Doyle from Canada. Next looking for 290 kilograms.
Okay, 290 is on the bar for Steve Doyle of Canada. Is the bar loaded? Bar's loaded. 290 kilos, Steve Doyle, Canada.
And I don't know if Steve Doyle has competed at this event before. I don't think so. But I could be wrong. So 290 on the bar. He had a good 275 to open. And he has to grind to stand up. And unfortunately gets 3 red lights there. Let's have a look at the replay. Tough to see from that angle. He'll be out to fix that on his third. So Colin Webb from Australia now 305. Missed this on his opener, has been competing on the international stage for quite some time. It's a long, long way to travel from Australia. But he did the smart thing. He was here earlier this week, making sure he had time to acclimatise and settle from the travel and get some energy back. That looks like a better line. That's much better. Yeah, kept his line on that one really well. 3 white lights and he puts it on the board. He'll be feeling a lot better after that. Jordan Ivanov from Bulgaria now 310 kilograms. He had a great opening squat at 290. It's that big breath. He's taking that bar with confidence. That's such an important part. He's a fast squatter. Let's see what the referees say. And it is 3 white lights. Gets down into those knee wraps very quickly. So now we move to Antonio Gorga from Italy. 310 kilograms, just shy of his personal best. Sinks it in deep. A great squat, giving the referees no question about depth and getting the most he can out of the equipment. Nikolai Olsen from Denmark now. Opened for 302.5, didn't get it, has opted to put a little bit more weight on, which is not unusual and could be what he needs to push him down into depth. A lot of these guys that have missed their opener, it has been about depth. And sometimes on that first opening squat, it can be difficult to dial in your equipment properly. So sometimes a little bit more weight can just help push you down into those knee wraps and that suit a little bit more. But it is a difficult balance. Well, it moved fast. He has no problem shifting that weight. And the referees say still not deep enough. At this stage, I probably wouldn't be adding any more weight. I think at this stage, I'd just be focusing on really driving it down into the equipment. Matthew Hallett from Great Britain now, 315. He told me earlier he's been working on that moustache for a couple of years now, and I think it's really paid off. We'll be looking for a little bit of extra out of this one. James Brinkett-Smith looking on. A little bit unstable on the walkout. Just having a hard time steadying himself there. Once he took that breath and braced himself, he was absolutely fine. And the referees say not deep enough. 2-1. It's very difficult to see from this angle with the spotting crew there. And the refs have got the best seat in the house. Takayuki Arakawa from Japan now. He is 44 years of age. The Masters 1. Looking for 317.5. 297.5 open look great. He looks really focused, really solid. Let's see what the referees say about that one. The weight was not an issue. Was he deep enough? He was not. A lot of the guys today struggling with depth here. Our next lifter, Alex Combre Ollison, is one of those gentlemen who has struggled with depth on his opener. Looking for 320 to put one on the board. And remember, if you do not get a lift in one of the disciplines, you do not total. Well, from this angle, that looked better. But still 2-1. And the side referees with the best view in the house have said no.
US Virgin Islands, Duarte and Sid, get ready. Bars loaded, 30 kilos, Matthew Roddock, US Virgin Islands.
So Matthew Roddock now. 330 kilos. Probably a little bit later coming out than he should have been, but still got enough time. Drops into the hole, gets the power out of the bottom, and the referees say 2 white lights, that's good enough to go on the board. And he drops in to try and get all that potential energy to build up. So Hugo Duarte from UK now. Missed his 330, throwing on an extra 5 kilos to try and push him down a bit further. 5 kilos is about the sort of standard add-on you do if you're trying to use it to push down a bit further. When you're lifting 330, 335 kilos, you're probably not going to notice the extra 5 that much. That was much better, and he stood it up. That should be okay. And it's not, he still gets 2-1. Be interested if the coach goes to the jury on that one.
Unfortunately for Hugo, we are loading about 335 now for Andre Sip, Jackie, our bar is loaded.
Hard to see with the shadow there.
Soko and Doyle to get ready. Last lift in round 2.
But the coach probably agreed because he did take the long walk to the jury. So Andre Sip, check out 3:35, got a good 3:20 opener. Looks pretty steady on the walkout. Very confident. Bar moves well. Did he sink it in though? He has not gone down deep enough. He missed that for a second. You can see he's in good control, but just doesn't really sink in, just cuts it short there. So after the second round of squats, we still have 4 lifters that have not yet put a lift on the board. They've put themselves under pressure here to be able to total. So right now, Sotha Rivera Andreas from Costa Rica, 270 kilos. It was just seemed too much for him in the first two. He's not using the equipment well. He stood this one up. Has he done enough? Not deep enough. He will be disappointed with that. So 290 on the bar now for Steve Doyle from Canada. Had a good opening lift. His second at 290 just didn't really get down deep enough. And let's see if they've made a few adjustments here. Very controlled, but he didn't really make a lot of use of that potential energy in the suit or the wraps. Couldn't stand it up. But he does have a lift on the board. And right now, we load the bar to 310. Nikolai Olsen from Denmark, opened at 302.5, didn't get depth. Went to 310. He looked better, but still not deep enough. Have stayed at 310. And I imagine a few little twigs of the suit, a few little twigs of the knee wraps. I wouldn't have changed much. Really, I think he just needs to force it down. He's certainly powerful enough. Needs to keep going. Now that looks a lot better. That looks like it's good. It is. He gets it on the board and he stays in the game. He really dropped that in a lot better there. You could see he was really controlled. He probably didn't get the most out of those wraps in that suit, but he made it work to get that on the board. So Matthew Hallett now from Great Britain, 315 kilos, missed this on his second. He certainly has the power for this. He just needs to sink it down fraction more. He was so close in the last one.
Perfect.
stood up well. Let's wait for the referee's decision. The coach looks confident, and no, 2 red lights again, and the coach is walking. I think he's going to go to the jury. Don't know he's going to have much love though. He's taking the walk, but right now, Takayuki Arakawa from Japan, 317.5 again. Missing this on his second. Got his over at 297.5. And that looked deep, but he just couldn't quite get it up there. You could see his right leg, knee just wanted to drop in and couldn't generate any power. We see it well in the replay. Comes out well, but that right knee starts to shift and all the power is lost. Antonio Gorgon from Italy now, 320 kilograms. .27 years of age, 6 years competing. Been looking forward to seeing him deadlift. Depth looks good. He seems confident, and he should be. He's got 3 white lights. Yeah, that was a great lift. Gets that on the board. We load to 322.5 now. Jordan Ivanov, Bulgaria, has had 2 really good lifts and looking for a third. Stands it up. Can he lock it? That was a tough lock at the top. Did he get deep enough though? No, he did not. He struggled to get depth. He struggled to lock it out of the top as well. And those 2 in this case are directly related. Didn't get depth, so didn't get the energy out of the equipment, so didn't get the speed, making it very difficult to lock it. This man right now, Alex Combre, Iceland, has missed 320 opener, missed 320 second, and thrown it an extra 5 kilos to get him into depth at 325, and needs this to stay in the game. Well, it looks better. Is it enough though? It's not deep enough, and it's 3 red lights. So he will not be able to get a total now. So Colin Webb now all the way from down under, taking a massive leap to 330. Throwing on an extra 25 kilos, and remember 305 he didn't get at the start was more a case of he just lost his line and lost balance. The second one, 305, looked fantastic. Depth is good. That is a great looking lift. 3 white lights, super fast. What a massive lift. Andre Sip, check in now. .335 kilos. Weighted at 92.6. He is 20 years of age. So still in the juniors. And seriously mixing it in the opens. 335 kilos. This will add 10 or 9.5 kilos to his personal best. Oh, it moved so well. 2-1, he gets it on the board. Look out, this young man is going to be a superstar.
He needs this one to stay in the game. Where are you, Great Britain? Get behind your boy now!
Stays upright so well and holds that bar line so well.
Hugo Duarte. Come on, Hugo.
Hugo Duarte, UK, 340. He's missed 330 on depth, missed 335 on depth. Let's throw another 5 kilos on and hope that it can push you down. The weight is not an issue. He's gonna go close. I'm not gonna call that one. Not deep enough again, and it's 3 red lights, so all the referees have determined that isn't deep enough. So unfortunately, he won't be able to total now. You can see he's just cutting it shy. So 340 kilos now for Matthew Roddick, US Virgin Islands. Had 2 great lifts already. This looks like a tough walkout though. Gets that breath in, stabilizes it, but it's a bit shaky on the way down. I think he's cut that short. I think he felt that weight and just cut it short a little bit. 2-1. So that will be no lift, unfortunately. You can see he was really shaky on the way down and just cut it shy. That's not uncommon to do that, but clearly he has the power and the strength. So our standings for the Group B at the moment, 335 for Sip, 330 for Webb, and 330 for Roddick. And we will take a 20-minute break, and we'll be right back here for all the bench press action. Welcome back to Viborg, Denmark for the 2022 IPF World Open Equipped Powerlifting Championships, brought to you by none other than Alico and SBD. And we have just finished the first squat session of the 93 kilo Group B, rolling in now to the bench press. And here are our current standings for this group, with Matthew Roddock on 340, Andre Sipp on 335, and Colin Webb on 330. And Colin with a magnificent 330 finish, having jumped 25 kilos, or 25 kilos from his opener. And I've just been out the back there watching these guys warm up, and some of these guys are looking really, really strong on bench and going really well. But remember the rankings at the moment, this is Group B, so we still have Group A this evening as well. So these guys just have to do their job as best they can and maybe find their way into some of the medals, and the discipline medals, individual medals. But right now we load the bar for Steve Doyle from Canada. Load the bar to 100 kilos, and notice he's lifting his opener without a bench shirt. We will see if he puts one on for his second, or whether he's decided he's got a slight injury. And sometimes lifters do opt to lift their first one raw to ensure they get one on the board and they can total. And he gets that one on the board. And he's taking that single off on his way off, so I imagine he's going to put a shirt on. It's a risky move because there's not a lot of time between lifts in these groups. So Nikolai Olsen now for 170. And so this is a really big bench press. It's a personal best. And he certainly made short work of that. If you blink, you miss it. Plenty of speed off the chest there, and chased that up really well. Antonio Gorga from Italy now, 180 kilograms. So that's a good lift from Olsen though. I mean, he lifted 160 at the European Open and didn't get that lift, so that's a fantastic lift. But 180 on the bar now. And he had to work a little bit for it, but it should be a good lift. And you can see not a huge amount of tightness in that shirt, and you can see how easily he gets the touch. I imagine they'll make a few adjustments for his next lift. Soto Rivera Andreas from Costa Rica now, 185. So 24 years of age, just into the Opens. Got a best lift of 190. Having to really work through that shirt to get the touch. And that was a tough lift. But I think it's a good lift. Let's wait and see it is. So he gets that on the board. That'll certainly make him feel a lot better after the squat session.
Bars loaded, 185 kilos, Roddock, US Virgin Islands.
So Matthew Roddick, 185. below his best. Gets a bit of an awkward touch. And we'll wait for the referee's decision on that one. And gets it back to the top well. I'm just not quite sure if it was continued in the one direction. It was a good lift.
Bar is loaded, 200 kilos for Orvason, Iceland.
Alex Kambre Olason from Iceland now. For 200 kilograms. Did 212.5 at the European Opens this year. And I believe he ranked #1 at the European Opens. Sorry, Western Europeans. And he gets that one on the board. Andrei Sip, Czechia. Also looking for 200. He looked good on squat. And he got plenty of speed off the chest there. And I just don't think he was really under it. See in the replay, lots of speed. Just looks like he wasn't really with it all the way. So Colin Webb, Australia, 200 kilograms. And a fantastic last squat. Looked really good in the warm-up room for bench.
Hold the line, hold the line, hold the line, hold the line. Press, pass.
And looks good. And it is with 3 white lights. He'll be really happy with that. Almost got out of line on the touch, but he held it really well. Takayuki Harakawa from Japan, 207.5. And of course, Japan with a great tradition of bench press. So in 2019 at the World Opens, he pressed 220. And he made short work at 207.5. Yeah, very nice press. Stayed solid on that bench. Hugo Duarte, 210. Had a really tough time on squats, so can't total. Now, focusing on bench, trying to get personal best. Oh, he's going to struggle with that one. Lockout was tough. difficult angle to see from here, but yeah, 3 red lights. You see the bar drop there. Should be able to see in. Unfortunately, he has put himself behind the 8 ball again. So Jordan Ivanov from Bulgaria now, 230 kilograms. So currently we have 3 lifters that cannot total. Just the referees pointing out his hand placement. So we've got ring markers at 81 centimeters on the bar. You can't go outside of that. Oh, that's a very hard touch. And you can see it was a good example of the shirt taking the path of least resistance there. As he pressed, it was a hard touch, so there was a lot of potential energy, and it's just driven back way too fast. So Matthew Hallett now for 230. This young man is really built for this discipline. Just got offline there. We'll have a look in the replay. Hard to see from there, but it looks like he came down a little high. The touch wasn't too bad, but just drove straight back on him. So we come into round 2 now with 4 lifters. We've not put a lift on the board yet. Nikolai Olsen with 170. So Arakawa at the top of this group with 207.5, Webb with 200. And Orison with 200 as well. Should be a good lift. It is 3 white lights. Antonio Gorga from Italy, 187.5. His first lift, the shirt wasn't super tight. Let's see if they've tightened it up a little bit for this one. He still gets a very easy touch. It's a lot of work. And let's see what the referees say. It's a good lift, 2-1. We'd like to see a little bit more tightness and resistance in that shirt for the next one, though. It's getting a very easy touch.
Bars loaded. 192.5 kilos, Robert, US Virgin Islands.
So 192.5 on the bar for Matthew Roddick now. A rocketed lift for 185 as an opener. Gets a good press. And from that angle, everything looks okay, but unfortunately, 2 red lights. We'll have a look. We've got the blue cards there. And imagine we've got some butt lift there. And a little bit of downward movement as well by the look of it. So that's no lift. Sota Rivera, Andreas, Costa Rica. Unfortunately, did not register a squat, so cannot register a total. That is a hard press, that one. I think he's going to get it there, though. He's locked it out. Well, let's wait and see. Unfortunately, 2-1. Let's see what the replay. And he starts lifting off the bench there as well. Yeah, quite a bit. Andrei Sip, Czechia, 200, missed this on its opener. I see they've dialed that shirt in right now. Oh, that looks good. They've dialed that in really well. They got plenty of speed off the chest there. 3 white lights. A much better lift. So we load the 200 for Steve Doyle. Now he opened at 100 without a shirt, and now he's put the shirt on. And you could see when he was walking off up to 100, he was taking that singlet off, trying to get out there, get the shirt on, because you need to get at least 1 warm-up lift in before hitting 200 in a shirt. Well, let's see how this goes. Oh, he's struggling to find the touch. He gets it there, and it just rolls back on him. Unfortunately, I think on his third attempt, I think he will get that quite well. You can see it just rolls back. Hugo Dwight now, UK, 210 kilos, missed this on his opener. Had a rough time on squats and didn't register a squat, and now he has put himself behind the 8 ball again. Touch looks good. That looks okay from here. And we'll wait for the referee's decision. And it is, it's 3 white lights. He puts that one on the board. And that has got to make him feel a little bit better.
210 on the bar now. Bar is loaded for Alex Orrason, Iceland.
Alex Cambre Orrason from Iceland now, 210 kilograms. Just shy of his best lift. Looking for 210 kilograms. Oh, I'm not sure if he's going to get this one. He locks it out of the top, depending on how much that bar moved. And yeah, both side referees have said no lift. And we can see in the replay
210 kilos, Webb, Australia.
A little bit of downward movement of the bar. So Colin Webb, all the way from Australia, looking for 210. And we always talk about how much travel plays a role in your lifting, and Colin was really well planned out. He got here a few days ago, gave himself plenty of time to adjust, and plenty of time to rest.
Hold the line, 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 you need it.
Trying to get that touch. And got good speed off the chest, but then it just changed direction a little bit. And you can see he's really having to work for the touch there. Finally gets it, but it's a little bit out of position. And just drives back on him. Takayuki Arakawa from Japan, 215 kilograms. Very, very experienced bencher. A personal best of 240, which I think was the last time back in 2016, maybe 2017. Most recently, 220 in 2019. Oh, fantastic work. He recovered that so well. You could see the shirt was trying to shift it laterally. But he managed to regather it and control it. Jordan Ivanov from Bulgaria now, 230. Missed this on his opener. Wants to get this to avoid being right behind the 8 ball. Straightens it up nicely. Oh, he gets it to the top. I'm not sure about the lockout there, though. Well, the referees think no as well. So he has put himself in an awkward position now. And Matthew Hallett from the UK wants this one as well. Missed his opener at 230. Needs to put this on the board. His trademark mustache. It's a nice touch. Had to work hard for that, but he gets it to the top and he gets it on the board, and he breathes a very big sigh of relief. Nikolai Olsen now 182.5. Got his opener and his second. And Matthew Hallett got that 230 in there, so puts him at the top of the B group. Looks like Matthew's going for the big 245. Trying to put enough on his bench to maybe wiggle his way onto the podium for bench after the A group tonight. Got a great press off the chest there, Nikolai, but just couldn't convert it. And Antonio Gorga from Italy now, 192.5, which will give him a nice little personal best. And I'll be interested to see if they've got a little bit more resistance in that shirt now. Those first couple of lifts, he got a very, very easy touch and didn't look like he was getting a huge amount of resistance from the shirt. And his second lift was pretty tough. I think they've tightened this up a little bit. And still not getting a huge amount out of that shirt. And he got 2 lifts on the board. You can see how easily he gets that bar to the chest. So 192.5 for Matthew Roddick. He got his opener of 185, missed his second at 192.5, and now looking to retake that. A lot better. Can he lock that left arm though? I don't think he's going to. Can't really see from that camera angle whether it actually locked or not. We'll wait for the referees. You can see the replay. He gets great speed from the chest, but then just struggles to lock it out.
Thank you. Red, white, red. So that is 2-1, no lift. 2-1.
So that is a no lift, unfortunately. Just couldn't quite get the lockout. Soto, Rivera, Andreas, 200 kilograms. This is his first year in the Opens. Opened on 185. Got it, missed 195, now looking for 200. Didn't register a squat, so he can't total. And that just looked a little bit too heavy.
Well done, loaders, well done. That is no lift. No lift for Soto. 200 on the bar now for Steve Doyle, Canada. Sit, Webb, get ready. Bars loaded, 200 kilos, Steve Doyle, Canada.
So Steve Doyle now for 200. Remembering that he opened with 100 kilos and no shirt. And then he's had to put that shirt on, get it warmed up, and came out for 200. Missed it. Hopefully this time, having held the 200 earlier, neural pathways might have woken up a little bit. Oh, he's struggling to get the touch there. I think he's got it. I think that's a good lift. It is. 3 white lights. Just got it there. So Andre Sip now looking for 205. The Czechian coach looking on. When your coach is that big, you will definitely get the lift. Just can't quite get the lock. He got great speed off the chest there. Might be able to see in the replay. Got good speed here. It looked like he just wasn't really under it enough or with it enough, as we say. So Colin Webb from Australia looking for that 210. This will be a nice personal best for him. Certainly not his first time on the world stage either. And just can't quite get the angle he needs, but he got one on the board. And with a quick bench, getting one on the board is usually doing pretty well. That is definitely part of the challenge in a quick bench. So for 215 on the bar for Alex Cumbre Rossen from Iceland. He missed 210 on his second. A few extra kilos have made the touch a bit easier. Does he have the speed though? And I think his butt's lifted off the bench anyway. And he gets 3 reds. Hugo Duarte from Great Britain now, 217.5. Failed to put a squat on the board, unfortunately. And just having a hard time getting to lock out there. Great speed off the chest. But just didn't seem to be able to follow it through. So we load the 220 for Takayuki Arakawa.
220 kilos, Arakawa, Japan.
2019 at this competition, he did 220. And I don't think we've seen him at this competition for a couple of years. Now looking to match that.
Okay. Perfect.
And it just got out of line there. We talk all the time about the shirt, building up that potential energy, and you've got to really work to hold it in place, or it looks for the path of least resistance, and that was a perfect example of looking for the path of least resistance. So 235 now for Jordan Ivanov. He is behind the 8 ball. He got a squat on the board, but he hasn't put a bench on yet. He's opted to throw on an extra few kilos to see if that can resolve the issue, but he needs this to be able to register a total. I don't think he's going to get it there, though. It doesn't look like he can lock out that right arm, and it's not. It's starting to tip. And he will be extremely disappointed with that. Yeah, he started to lift his hips up anyway. He just couldn't quite get to lock out. He had good leg drive, but a lot of that leg drive converted into hip lift rather than driving the bar back. And right now, Matthew Hallett looking for a massive 245. Trying to put enough on the board to maybe maybe have enough to find himself in range of a medal. We won't find that out till later this evening when we do the A group. He has such a light touch, but I don't think he's going to get it. He gets it back to the top, but I think we saw some downward movement there. Yeah, 3 red lights. So that is our 3rd round. We now have 4 lifters that can no longer register a total, unfortunately. 3 of those failing to register a squat, 1 failing to register a bench. At the top of this group, Matthew Hallett with 230, Arakawa with 215, and Duarte with 210. And we're going to take a 20-minute break, and we will be right back with the deadlifts. Welcome back to Viborg, Denmark for the 2022 IPF World Open Equipped Powerlifting Championships, brought to you by none other than Alico and SPD, the greatest platform equipment in the world and the greatest strength support equipment in the world. We are here for the deadlift party for the 93 kilo B group. And the standings at the moment for this group: 5:35 for Andre Sip, 5:30 for Matthew Hallett, 5:30 for Colin Webb, and 5:25 for Matthew Roddick. And of course, at 7 p.m. tonight, we'll have the A group. So these guys have just got to do the best job they can to maybe find their way into an individual medal on one of the disciplines as well. And of course, it's been a really tough round. We've got 4 athletes that can no longer register a total. 3 of those failed to register a squat, and 1 of those failed. Jordan Ivanov failed to register a bench press. So they've got to come out, they've got to shake that off, wipe that off, and come out and put on the best possible deadlift they can. And Matthew Hallett will be the first one out on the deadlift platform from the UK. We're looking for 205 kilograms. He's had a bit of a mixed bag today, but he has got lifts in both disciplines and can put a total on the board now. And he'll be looking to solidify that with this lift. And that should be a good lift. And he gets the 3 white lights. So we load the bar for 227.5 for Steve Doyle. Who had an interesting run on bench. He opened with 100 kilos with no shirt, put a shirt on, missed the 200, and then got it on his 3rd. And that looks like an easy opener.
Right lights, good lift for Doyle, 265 on the bar now for Soko, Costa Rica. Ivanov and Ogasol, get ready.
No problems at all with that one. So Soto, Rivera, Andreas, Costa Rica, 265. Failed to register a squat, unfortunately. But he is out here putting on the best deadlift he can. And that is all part of equipped lifting. You certainly have days where nothing goes to plan. So he gets it to the top. I'm not sure if the bar dipped though. Let's wait and see. And 3 red lights. We'll see that in the replay. It's a bit of an awkward lift. His hips shot up at the start there. And you can see he gets to the top. There's a little bit of a dip forward. So no lift, unfortunately. Jordan Ivanov from Bulgaria now, 270 kilos. Well within range. And he handles that well. It's a bit of a look at his hand as he's walking off there. Hopefully he hasn't got any major issues with his grip. It'll be quite easy to damage the calluses on your hand. Those Alico bars have fantastic grip on them. That knurling is brutal though. Alex Cumbre Orison, 270 with ease. The Alico bar there has absolutely fantastic knurling. The best in the business. But if you've ever held on to one, it certainly can take its toll after a while. Nikolai Olsen, Denmark, 270 to open his deadlift campaign. And looks good. Wait for the referee's decision. It is 3 white lights. Takayuki Arakawa from Japan, 275. Got a best lift of 315. He did 305 back in 2019 at this competition in Dubai. And has no problems with that one.
3 white lights and a good lift. Arakawa, 287 Bardo. Hugo Duarte, Greg Crittenden, roll up and sit, get ready. Bars loading, 280 kilos. Duarte, Greg Crittenden.
So 280 on the bar now for Hugo. The UK. Unable to register a total, having failed to register a squat. So for athletes to register a total, they have to register a successful lift, at least one in each discipline. And then of course their total is taken from the best lift in each discipline. And he puts that one on the board. Didn't look too difficult. And he gets the 3 white lights. And I think he's going to go 300 on his next one. So signal to the coach. So let's wait and see. Right now, Matthew Roddick, 282.5. Half lockout at the top there, just a little bit slow in the lockout, but it should be okay. And it is. And he solidifies his total. So Andre Sip, Czechia, 290. And he has had a pretty good day so far, just 20 years of age. And clearly has a big future ahead of him. And a great opener.
3 white lights, good lift for 6, 292 range for the bar for Colin Webb, Australia, and it is loaded.
Yeah, handled that with no problems at all. Colin Webb now from Australia looking for 290. Had a great final squat. Couldn't quite get the 210 on the bench, had to settle for 200. Needs to put this one up to solidify his total. And he does just that. Waiting on the referee's lights, and it is a good lift, but he gets a red light from the center referee. And we can't really be sure what that one was for. Antonio Gorga, Italy, 300 kilos. The biggest opening deadlift of this group. And handles that with ease.
3 white lights and a good lift for Gorga. Round 2, first weight on the bar, 212.5.
So that is round 1 out of the way with just one lifter failing to put a lift on the board so far for deadlift. But right now we load the bar for Matthew Hallett. And Sip sitting at top in this group. 4 lifters unable to total. Everyone else has solidified their total and now can try and add as much as they can to it. And Matthew Hallett, 212.5. His opener looked really easy. His second, not so easy, but he gets it there. And he just put it down a little bit too early. Just struggling to hang on to it. You can see his grip starting to go. Steve Doyle from Canada looking for 245.
245 kilos, Oil Canada.
Seems to have no problems with that lift whatsoever.
3 white lights, good lift. 265 on the bar.
Absolutely spot on.
Bars loaded. 265 for Soto. Ivanov and Orson, get ready.
Soto Rivera Andres from Costa Rica now. Missed this opener, needs to get this on the board. He's had a rough day already. And he is just unfortunately making it even rougher for himself. His hip shot up early again there. And he's struggling with that lockout. I'm gonna wait for the referees on this one. I'm not entirely sure if that was a good lift. There might have been some downward movement there. Yeah, he gets 2 red lights. He has put himself in a horrible position at the moment.
Not controlling the bar on the way down. Not controlling the bar on the way down.
No, I just heard that was for not controlling the bar on the way down. So lifters have to be in control of the bar all the way to the floor. And that is more than just having your hands on it. You have to actually demonstrate that you are in control of it. So Jordan Ivanov, Bulgaria, 285. Oh, I don't know if he's locked that out. That right shoulder really didn't want to go back, and he gets 2 red lights. You can see that right shoulder just did not want to go back.
Bar is not loaded. Bar is not loaded. We're going to clean the bar. Possibly reload it. Bar's loaded. 287.5.
So Alex Kambri-Olsson, Iceland, 287.5. This will be a big personal best. Oh, he moved it so quickly. They just couldn't quite hang on to it at the top. Seeing the replay there. Moves it off the floor fast. Gets out in front though. And then it just throws his grip off as well. And once that starts to unravel, there's really no recovering from it.
Good lift. Ivanov, good lift, overturned by the jury. Bar is loaded.
So apparently Ivanov's lift was overturned by the jury at 285. So he does get that on the board. And right now, Takayuki Arakawa from Japan, 290. wasn't the prettiest of lifts he's ever done. But it got the job done. 3 white lights. And it looks like Ivanov scratched his 3rd lift. So Nikolai Olsen now for 290. Plenty of home crowd support in the audience. And just struggling to hang on. You can see it's been such a tough session on squats and bench. It's really taking its toll. Fatigue is setting in, and when that happens, the grip is the first thing that starts to go. Quite a few guys struggling to hold onto the bar. The 295 for Matthew Roddick. Current total 807.5. This will put him to 820. And that looks like it should be okay. It is 3 white lights. So Hugo Duarte now, the UK, wants 300 kilograms. He had a successful lift at 280. Adding an extra 20 to it. He cannot register a total. He has nothing to risk, so an opportunity to try and build a personal best on the world platform. If he takes his 300 here, we might find that he'll push to 310 for a personal best. A 20 kilo jump, a fairly hefty jump. Well, he made that look pretty easy. Certainly like to see him push past his best lift, finish on a high note. Andre Sip, 302.5. Good opener at 290, and this is a really strong young man. And Czechia has a great history in powerlifting. Held this competition there back in 2017 in Pilsen. Oh, it's a great looking lift. And it should be good. It is 3 white lights.
7.5 Australia. Gordigat and Pallet, get ready. Last 2 lifts in round 2.
We load the bar to 307.5 now for Colin Webb from Australia, who has had not a bad day so far. Certainly everything didn't go to plan, but he hasn't had a bad day. Eagle eye in the corner there. That looks good. That should be okay. It is. So we roll all the way up to 320 now for Antonio Gorga. Even though that little graphic that's on your screen gives you the ranking numbers for the discipline and the total, at this point we've still got Group A to go this evening, so they don't hold any real meaning at the moment. Antonio, current total 807.5, that'll take him 827.5. And it looks successful. He seems pretty confident. Looks good. I haven't had the ref light come up yet. So current standings, Colin Webb 307.5, Sip 302.5. Now we've had that one come through. Antonio from Italy has the 320, and the current totals 837.5 for Webb and Sip, 827.5 for Gorga. And of course, these guys have got to finish their third round, and then they have to sit back and wait and see how much work they've done and how they fare up against the A group this evening. And believe me, it is a tough wait. But right now, Matthew Hallett, Great Britain, looking for 212.5, missed this on his second. Really finding it tough, and I don't think he's going to get it this time either. We'll see what the referees say, but no, 3 red lights, unfortunately. Quite a few infractions in that one. Just a little bit of hitching or leverage from the thighs there, a bit of downward movement. Gave it everything he had. Steve Doyle there just waiting in the wings for that bar to be loaded and cleaned, waiting for 262.5. So in the third round of deadlifts, the bar is cleaned after each lift to ensure that each athlete has the exact same opportunities. And just a little bit too much at the end of the day. Been a long day of lifting for these guys. It's been a tough day of lifting. But he's done well. He can go home with a total 720 in the World Championships. Right now, Soto Rivera Andres is in all sorts of trouble again. He failed to register a squat. He got a bench in, and now he is behind the 8 ball on the deadlift as well. It's just when you think he's got it right, he gets something wrong. Making use of the double overhand hook grip. His hips were a bit better on that one. You can see that in the lift. And I think that might be okay this time around. It is. He gets 2 to 1. And still failing to be in complete control of the bar all the way down. You can see his hands lose contact with the bar. You have to be in control of the bar all the way to the floor. So 287.5 now for Orison from Iceland. This will be a big personal best by about 10 kilos. got it up there this time. I'm not sure if he held the lock. Did he get the down command in time? He did not.
No lift. Failed to lock the bar. To lock his shoulders. 290 on.
He wasn't really clearly locked out there. Nikolai Olsen missed this 290 on his second. Let's see if he can get it on his third. Moves fast, gets it to the top quickly, gets the down command. And the referees say it is a good lift. He gets one red light there. I'm just wondering if that was maybe a little bit, from one angle there, it looked a bit soft in one knee. But it's on the board, so we go to 292.5 for Arakawa. He's had a pretty good day so far. This will give him a total of 805. Working it to the top. Has a good look around at the top, gives it a nod and places it down ever so gently. What a fantastic day and a way to finish for him. Very nicely done. But right now, Matthew Roddick wants 305 to give him an 830 total. If he misses this, he finishes on 820. This will give him an 830. Gets it there. I am going to wait for the referees on that one. And 2-1. And unfortunately, just doesn't look like it's clearly locked. And the coach is going to take a walk to the jury for that one, though, as expected. Andre Sip, Czechia, 307.5. And that previous lift has been overturned. So the 287.5 will stand. The 307.5 for Andre Sip, Czechia. And he gets the 3 white lights.
So
Roddick's lift was overturned. It's a good lift. He gets all 3 on the bag. Hugo Duarte now looking for 312.5. A nice personal best. His 280 looked fantastic. He jumped 20, and the 300 looked great as well. Let's see if he can do the same with 312.5. Remember, he cannot register a total. got a little bit too far forward there. Probably see from the replay. And gets a good start, but the knees lock and the bar shifts out a little bit, and it's just too hard to pull that back. So we will load the bar for Colin Webb, 312.5 for a personal best on the world stage. And you hear his coach yelling in the background, just keep pulling. That's moving well. Can he lock it? I think he can. Wait and see what the referees say. And he does. He gets 2-1. He's super happy with that. Eagle Eye's pretty happy too by the look of it. A great way for Colin to finish. Antonio Gorga from Italy now, 330 kilo, our last lift of this session, this group. Remembering we've got the A group this evening, so these rankings still aren't relevant just yet. We have to wait for the group this evening. .330 kilos for his personal best. He's looked good, but that's not going to happen today, I'm afraid. Just a little bit too much at the end of the day. You can see he gets off well and just gets out of position. You can see his right knee was just trying to lock too fast. So unfortunately, no luck. So the top of this group for the deadlifts, 320 for Gorga, 312.5 for Webb, and 307.5 for Sip. And the totals 842.5 for Webb, 842.5 for Sip, and 830 for Roddick. And we will just have to wait and see how much work they've done when we look at the A group this evening. So make sure you join us back at 7 p.m. Central European time. We've got the 63 kilo women, the A group for the 93 kilo men, live on the Olympic channel and live on Eurosport here at 7 p.m.